Alright, I got another update for Project Chaos. I switched from an occultist to a juggernaut because a juggernaut has more survivability. With the occultist, the only real skill I could use was cyclone because any other skill I had to stop to attack, and once I stopped, I died. So the juggernaut is more tanky. I'm running these for my passives. This life regeneration I was using, but it was woefully unneeded because I was already getting plenty of regeneration because I'm using Rage Vortex with Calm's gloves. My life regeneration just needs to be enough to fill up the rage. And with that other passive, I was getting way too much rage. I'm only rocking 50 rage because I bought this bad boy here for 1 divine, which gives me 3 of these chaos damage and inflict wither nodes. So I have a 75% chance to inflict wither. And with the fast attack speed of Rage Vortex, that is a lot of wither. Now I'm choosing to use Rage Vortex and Smite at the same time, because Rage Vortex is ranged and Smite is ranged. So I can kind of stay from a safer distance. My defenses are pretty solid. Not the best armor, but okay. The problem with the armor is I'm using the Covenant, and this is mostly completely wasted. I'm only doing it to reduce the amount of damage I take from elemental. A different body armor would probably be better, but I have the Covenant, so I'm using the Covenant. Iron Fortress might be stronger. That one that everyone uses. Skin of the Lords might be stronger. I could Skin of the Lords, Precise Technique, and then I don't have to travel all the way over here to grab it. But I get another cluster over here, and I get this sword cluster. So it's not too bad to travel over here, but it is like 5 wasted nodes, like 5 or 6. And there's a lot I could do. Some extra life here. There's, I can go get this double, 2-handed damage over here. And instead of traveling all the way over here for this cluster jewel, I could do 2 nodes to get this cluster jewel. And then possibly come up here and get this increased wither effect. And then get this with the 20% increased wither effect. Lot of options. This game is loaded with a lot of very difficult choices. If I level up 2 more times, I'm at 92. Getting to 94 is pretty easy. If I level up 2 more times, I'll probably grab these 2. The dex doesn't help, but the accuracy will help, and the attack will help. Now, my accuracy is just barely above my life. 5242 accuracy. 5182 life, which is a pretty good little split for here. But if I wanted to get tankier, there's a lot of life nodes on the table. 2 here for 15%, 2 here for 12%, and then obviously you can get a bunch of these like extra 6s if you really wanted to. I think that's all I really want to talk about. 2 Chaos Cluster Jewels, and I just got this cheapo to give me Life Leech, this 25% increase attack damage while on full life. Completely wasted because I'm never on full life. This one's really good because of the 15% global accuracy, attack speed, attack damage, and attack damage with ailments. Currently I'm rocking this bad boy simply because it was cheap to put on my amulet. I do need the chance to poison. Right now all my skills are at 95% chance to poison. I have 15 from this. 40 from chance to poison support, which is pretty shit jewel, especially with my current setup, because I have a lot of added flat damage. So a better setup, better gym would be great, but getting that poison is pretty useful. So there might be a cluster jewel that'll give me poison chance, so I should check that out at some point. And then I got a lot of jewel sockets here. A lot of them doing just the basic resistance, live, chaos, strength. Strength is at 1135. I could probably boost my strength up, but by getting rid of this and doing, I think it's Lethal Pride that does strength. But I feel these 3 nodes are pretty strong, and I got pretty lucky with this one. We got damage over time, which works for my poison. Chaos damage, which works for both my attacks and my poison. Block spell, useless. Chaos resistance is strong. Mana useless. Physical useless. Movement speed good. Fire good, mana regeneration okay, wither excellent, damage over time solid, cold damage bust. So there's only a couple of busts in this entire cluster jewel. It does suck because it gets rid of this node here, which usually gives me rage, and if this node would have been useful, I still could have packed up there. So I'm using Rage Vortex with only 50 Rage, but I absolutely love Rage Vortex. It just feels super good to me to use. I'll just run 4 maps. Let me double check them. Elemental, unique bosses are possessed. That's going to be rough. Oh well. Should be fine. Nothing I can't do. Nothing I can't do. Nothing I can't do.
I cannot do this yet.
Oh, he's telling me I cannot do this yet. And I'm over here saying nothing I can't do. Heavy Strike is pretty good too, but Smite just hits from a distance, and I get a Vol Smite from time to time. Still getting a little used to the button methods, because this is on... I normally put this on the right click, but now I have it here because I don't cast it as often. I like to wait for my rage to pop up and scratch my eye at the same time. I kind of just woke up, so I got all this sleep in my eye. Very important information, you guys knowing about my eye sleep. But applying shocks is pretty important. I got overcharge on this Smite simply so I can shock, because chaos damage can shock with this sword. So you might as well be shocking it up. Vol Smite, as always, feels incredible. As you pop the Rage Vortex on them, and then you hit them with the Vol Smites, or the Smites, I should say. And that will apply a bit of a shock. It's only like 30%. My shock isn't huge. Heavy Strike, you're getting around 40% on the yellow mobs, because that's the only one you can really see it on, because everyone else dies in one shot. I wish I had the setup so I can use faster attacks on my Leap Slam, but I can't use faster attacks on my Leap Slam with my current gem setup because I'm rocking 2/6 Linkies. See, I could keep kind of a safe distance. You can throw the Rage Vortex and kind of keep it a safe distance. Let's see what kind of shock I'm applying. 16% on this guy. Yeah, so it's not very strong. The Vol Smite's kind of like an oh shit, but a lot of times when I cast it, it'll make me get surrounded, and then I don't survive. The damage is obviously still quite shit. I do think the Raider is probably the right class for this, but I don't feel like leveling up a new character at the moment. I'll probably level up one anyways at some point. I really need a Duelist and a Raider. I need to find a way to really quickly level up new characters from beginning to end. One of these days I'll actually learn how to run the act and try to get it under 4 hours, because taking 6 hours to level up a character is really rough when you want to build a new character. Given that there's, I think, 7 classes you can use in here. Leveling up all 7 at 6 hours a pop. A bit time consuming. Definitely a bit time consuming. And once you get a character leveled up, it's pretty great, because then you can just pop a Divine on and then, you know, re-roll it however you like. I don't know what other people level it up at. I think some people are in the sub 4 hour range for leveling up a character. That seems a bit nutty. It might be kind of fun to try to race it like that. Typically that's not my my way of having fun. But neither is leveling up in the campaign. I really do think it's time GGG did something about that. Really think they should only make you run the campaign for your first character. And then maybe give you like a sub-level map option where it modifies the maps based on your level until you get to like 65 or whatever, 68. So that way you could just level up in maps. It'd be so much more enjoyable. At least for me. Some people might like the campaign. Might like the challenge of seeing how quickly they can get through the campaign. I am not one of those people. Before, I was just kind of memeing a little bit with the Project Chaos by doing a bunch of Chaos Resistance and Divine Flesh, but you lose way too much damage doing that. In order to run Divine Flesh like that, and using all those small Chaos Cluster Jewels, you really gotta have a build that's got a lot of base damage, and you don't need extra damage from the tree. But unfortunately, I need extra damage from the tree, because my damage is not high enough. Do not leave me unsatisfied, she says. That is one kink-ass bitch. Ugh. Damage over time, a weakness, as always. This build does pretty good. It dies from damage over time quite frequently, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I got that to really reduce damage over time, and then chaos. Not sure if that's the right options, but, you know, that's what I got. I haven't updated any of the Divine Vessels yet. And I did not drop a portal. If I were to rate this build, it'd probably be a D. These boots here are super pricey. I bought them for 11 Divine and used 1 Divine to get the 18 Strength. I just bought the cheapest one. Figured I'd Divine them to get the 18. But there's not very many listed. It's at 36 for 17 Strength. But if I put this at 18, last time I checked, there was no 18 Strength boots up there. Oh, now there's a bunch. So something I paid 12 Divine for is now 40. I don't know if that's the devaluing of Divines or less people running heists to get these boots. I don't know, but I made out pretty profitable with that specifically. So once I'm done with Project Chaos, I'll sell that up, and it'll fuel whatever build I need to build next. I'm not sure what I'll build next. I'm kind of feeling maybe a Shock AoE build using Shock Nova as a Hierophant. I might just keep... I haven't really spent any money on my Impel spell build. I've just been running it to get currency for all my other builds. So maybe I can pimp that out a little bit. There's a lot of nodes I can get to up my damage. I can get a lethal... a Watcher's Eye with Pride. Impel's last 2 more attacks. That'll strengthen up the build quite a bit. Which is super cool because on that Trickster I use both Energy Shield and life, so those Watcher's Eyes are highly useful.
An invitation to a true display of ferocious survivalism.
Maven's pretty badass with her fucking talking. So this fight will actually be pretty good because I have some distance. What the hell's that? Where did that fire come from?
A mote of my might.
Well, I held still too long. Bump, bump, a dump, a dump. Bump, 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 a dump, a dump.
Life is so brittle.
So I'm getting a 20 shocker on him. Though some bosses, it's better to fight close, so the distance of Rage Vortex and Smite, not really that important.
Life is so brittle.
And if you play good, I get a little distracted when I talk. Not that I make an excuse, I don't play good anyways. But if you play super good, you could probably avoid a lot of shit. And Rage Vortex seems like it's going to be really good for the new League event. Because you can hit like around corners, you can just pop it and then go hide so you don't get hit. I haven't tried it yet, but it seems like it's going to be pretty solid for that type of a mechanic. I haven't done much of the League mechanic. Seems pretty cumbersome, and you got to do a lot of it to learn. I kind of don't like that you can only stack however much they let you stack. I like to be able to stack more so I can run it all at once and do like an entire thing at once, so I'm remembering where I'm at instead of stacking it up or doing 1 per map. Feels a little awkward that way. Just a little bit. Curse enemies with conductivity on hit. Maybe I don't want this. Maybe not.
I cannot do this yet.
Let's pop it up here. Just do 20C for now. Let's see. Eradicator. Maven Witness is applying a little extra pressure to the build. I don't know what people are running nowadays, whether they're doing Maven or Blue Boss. Someone told me Blue Boss no longer drops Ashes of the Stars. It's the big Blue Boss that does. And that's normally my strategy. I just farm Ashes of the Stars, sell it for Buko Divines, but hasn't been my strategy this league.
So, you're the exile.
Your fight's done, Redblade. Information, now!
Pretty good. Like the absolute. Deals the deal.
Never learned how to use this league either. I've always tried to get Leo to research, and I can never get Leo to research. There's a way to do it, but I always forget. I kind of learned it once, and then, you know, stop playing, 4 months goes by, and forget how it works.
Kill them dead!
I have never really heard their dialogue, but that was pretty funny.
You surprised me, Hillock.
Hillock. It's not Hillock, it's Hillcock. Everybody loves Hilson Cox. This build will benefit from a little extra maximum leech. So if you really wanted to get more survivability, which I might do so I can level up, getting more leech would be good. Obviously you can switch skills from Rage Vortex to something else and switch your gloves and get all that life regeneration back and become really tanky. But I'm trying to do a little more damage than tanky. Working okay. Probably like 1 million or so DPS, maybe 2 if I'm lucky. But it's a pretty stable 2. A lot of other builds will say 2 million DPS, but you're not hitting as frequently. But with Rage Vortex and Poison, you're always kind of applying a base level of damage. So it's a pretty nice build. Feels good to play too. A little click heavy. I normally play 1-click builds, but all my builds this league have been a little click heavy. So the next build I build, I'm going to want it to be a 1-clicker. So I'm thinking Lightning Nova, Hierophant, AoE, just stack that AoE and get full screen clear. Maybe do a Carcass Jack as a chess piece. Where's the boss? I missed it. I missed the boss. Fun factor's pretty high for this build. Smite feels great. Rage Vortex feels great. Everything just kind of feels great. Let's run one of these real quick. Where am I at? Minor treasure, minor treasure. Oh, minor and major. Let's do major treasure. Oh, I'm here. Never mind. Let's see how this feels. So that Rage Vortex is just applying damage where you can run away. Of course, I ran right into that beam. Hit him with one smite just to shock him. Smite can be a little awkward though. Doesn't always quite target the people correctly. Room cleared, but I got hit a bunch, so while the room was cleared, it was not a successful run. Because it's all about not getting hit. Let's run one more, just because. Major treasure rewards. Try to be a little better this time. Ouch. Try to be a little better, and I still got hit.
I cannot do this yet.
Bunch of Templar cash. That's good enough for now. So maybe it's not that great, or maybe I'm not that great. But still, again, I haven't really played it too much. Only made it to tier 2, and I think there's 4 tiers, so I haven't even come close to completing it yet. I'll do that content later. Right now I'm still trying to get to Uber Elder, Uber Shaper. I should just buy it, but I kind of want to farm it out. Feels like I'm cheating if I buy it. I think I engaged with the boss, but because he got sucked up, I just ran away from him. Or he's in this bottom corner. Sometimes if delirium's going, I'm just kind of race through the delirium, so I miss it. Oh no, here he is. In case I die.
I already know the winner. Take this vitality boon. Mortal flesh is so fallible.
So I'm gonna just kind of throw the rage vortex on him and then be highly mobile. So this is probably a pretty good, obviously not this variation, but Rage Vortex and Smite is probably a pretty good build for a talented player.
Take this vitality boon.
Which shows something other than overcharge, where I can apply some shock.
Mortal flesh is so fallible.
Looks like I'm getting 30 shock on him.
Stalk and hunt.
Obviously, I could run Berserk as well and get a lot of damage there.
Take this vitality
But
boon.
haven't put that onto the build just yet.
Life is so brittle.
In fact, if I did Berserk with that other life regen node on the Juggernaut tree, might be the best option. Maybe. Because then it's going to keep Berserk alive for a real long time. So I could probably just Berserk for the entire boss as long as the boss doesn't phase. Quite a bit of bosses phase in this game. I hate that that's something you have to take into consideration on like rating the quality of your build, is how well can it do phasing bosses. If you have any kind of charge build that can't do phasing bosses at all. Let's take a look at my Echoforge. 40% increased area of effect, 105 life, 8% attack speed. Got it for 1 divine. 6 linked it using the corruption method. Went and bought the Beastcraft because my last one I hit it with a Vol Orb and it broke it. So I didn't want to break this one because it has that 40% increased area of effect for attacks, which is pretty nice. That's another reason I'm using Smite instead of Heavy Strike, because Smite has some AoE on it. I'm not sure if that AoE hits with chaos damage or not. You can see they're pretty big chaos hits. 24,000 to 73,000 on the Smite. Kind of big. Obviously, could be bigger. And one of my cluster jewels should be a chaos cluster jewel, but I haven't found another chaos cluster jewel. And gonna wait until I find another chaos one. Chaos damage double dips extremely well between the actual hit, because all my damage is chaos, and the poison, so it does a real nice double stack when you got that chaos damage. But sometimes POE is a little awkward with its damage, and you'll get more damage if you split your damage types. So instead of doing 400 increased chaos damage, if you do 200 chaos and 200 attack, sometimes that works out better. Just because the way diminishing returns works on a lot of this shit. Or I could be a crackhead and talking out my ass. Well, we know that I'm talking out of my ass. We don't know if I do crack or not. That is the question. We definitely know I don't do cocaine, because that's for rich people. I do that Hunter Biden shit. That Parmigiano cheese in the carpet. That Vol Smite, though. Really want to use the other one with the fissures, but that requires a mace. Maces are way better than swords for a lot of the stuff I do, and I would really want Shockwave. Because Shockwave is incredible. Absolutely brilliant skill. Probably one of the best that they built. Though Rage Vortex is also amazing. If you wanted to go crazy, you could do this as a berserker with all that rage. It'd be pretty nuts. Your survivability would be low, but man, you'd be applying some damage.
Life is so brittle.
And I have close combat support on Smite, which is probably a bad idea. I don't want to work with my jewels too much. My gems. So I'm just keeping it with close combat for now. I don't know how close you have to be. I really wish it would say like a distance on it. Obviously you can Google it, and I should have Googled it before, you know, throwing it on willy-nilly.
Resist the assault.
That stretches the sanity of the mind.
Return to the dirt.
Now the build is actually pretty cheap, excluding the boots. And I think with the Raider, the boots are actually probably not the best pick. You probably just get rid of all of this strength stacking shit and just focus on the fast attack speed to utilize the level 29 added chaos damage and the high base damage of the sword, and just go balls out with attack speed. A Flicker Strike build would be pretty good with this. I don't run it because I'll be getting sick. More so now than previously. Older I get, the more motion sickness I get, it seems. I like this amulet a lot, but it has to be perfect. This one is not perfect. We're looking for perfect. 16 to attributes, 40 to all res. Might be better than this. You lose a lot of flat, but you get the benefit of the total and then extra gore. And if we ask Al, everybody loves extra gore. Yes, that was an old man joke. Al Gore was a guy who ran for president. He also does a bunch of climate change shit because he owns a lot of mulch factories in South America. So he makes a lot of money pretending climate change is a big deal. Not saying climate change isn't a big deal, it's just not a big deal to Al Gore. Al Gore doesn't give a fuck about climate change. What he gives a fuck about is his bank account. And he's made a lot of money off of climate change. As have a lot of these other technical definition would be grifter. That is the correct definition for these people. And unfortunately, because of these grifters making money on climate change, we can't have honest discussions about it. It becomes political, a left versus right issue, and then science gets bias, and shit hits the fan. Super annoying. That's probably always been the case. I'm obviously not a historian, and even historians don't know exactly how people communicated back in the day. Propaganda has been rampant since forever, really. It just seems like it's nuts now more so than historically because it wasn't caught as easy in the past. We can actually see the propaganda much easier now with the invention of the internet. So we can see more of it. It seems like more of it is happening. I'm pretty sure it's just because we can see a lot more of it.
Buried and drowned by your presence, by my duty, as far above the thread weaves on, a serpent swimming across the ocean.
Rage Vortex is really good against those shielded guys, because it's just applying a constant amount of pressure. And once they lower their shields, they're getting hit with that Rage Vortex. I'm absolutely in love with Rage Vortex. It's such a good skill. Maintaining the rage is always a bit of a problem.
Ciliatra said also in other news, my league is going great. Ciliatra said and my friends hate me.
Well, that's depressing, Mr. Man. Might as well get it.
Ciliatra said since I ran a single unjust Crimson Township map
God
and
damn
dropped an apothecary, smiley face.
I don't even know what a fucking apothecary is. That's some pottery bar and shit. Those lightning breach monsters are pretty tough. Oh, Jesus, look at that. That was fucking cool. Never seen that before. I'm not sure I've done harvest with this shit. I'm also using behead support on my smite. Figured it's kind of good. You can just vol smite, kill a unique, get the behead support. Yeah, seems to work pretty well here as well. Well. I'm using Vol Herald of Agony to give me poison chance. Not sure I said that, but pop that out now. With this setup, Fortify support's actually pretty good because I'm doing all chaos damage, and Fortify actually does more melee damage. And a lot of that shit is melee physical damage. So it becomes a little difficult to get good support gems to do more multipliers, and that's kind of what I need. Attack speed and more multipliers to pump up my flat base damage. There's some other skills that are pretty effective. I think Bone Shatter is definitely a strong option, especially if I switch to a new chess piece. A Bone Shatter would be great because I'll have a ton of armor if I switch to a new chess piece because I get to double the armor from the thing. Good armor right now would probably be obviously the strength armor. But also, Brass Dome would be really strong with this build. Give you some elemental resistances on top of the armor. It'd make you super thick. But if I got a Brass Dome, I'd have to pump up my chaos resistance a ton, because that would be my ultra weak point. I mean, that doesn't seem like it makes sense, because I have low chaos now. But I'm still more likely to die from elemental damage than I am chaos damage. But if I got a Brass Dome, dying from elemental damage would be pretty rare. And it would mostly be damage over time and chaos damage. So if I really wanted to tank this build up, I'd get a Brass Dome. And then get more chaos damage. Probably not max it out, but at least get more. And then I'd probably path into one of these Fortify nodes to get this 10% reduced damage taken over time when you have at least 20 fortification. Because damage over time is pretty brutal. And most of your damage mitigation does not mitigate damage over time. Kind of annoying if you ask me. I don't really like the way they handle their mathematics on the damage in this game. How physical damage is completely different than elemental damage, and how it works, and how damage over time almost always avoids all of your mitigation methods. It's kind of annoying. But, I mean, they made up for it. You can get reduced damage over time in multiple places, which is super helpful, especially if you're doing low life like I am.
Make this worth my time. Mortal flesh is so fallible. Grasp your mortality tightly.
I don't think this build is uber viable. Maybe if you're really good. But I can't really say. I've only fought one uber boss, and it's the blue boss, and I keep getting wrecked. I don't know what that blue boss's name is. I think it's Eater of Worlds. But blue boss sounds better. You go red, you go blue, blue boss. I'm going blue. Apparently that's the wrong choice, but I only went blue to get Ashes of the Stars. I should verify. So far, my chat has been accurate 100% of the time when they say things. When I started the game, Smite's attack speed was like 40% faster, and everyone was saying it was bugged, and I wasn't sure, and it was bugged. And then Hot patched it mid fucking playtime. Did one map, and my attack speed was crazy fast, and then I did the next map, and it was slow as shit. Which is kind of funny, because that means my build was absolutely trash, and I was capitalizing on 40% more attack speed without even realize it. The whole time I was playing, I was, yeah, this is like a C build, but it's really an F build, maybe F plus. The only reason it felt like a C build is because it was bugged with attack speed. I don't really like what the Ubers have done to the game. And the fact that there's Uber unique items. But I guess they do, since they have power creep, they gotta have damage creep. And they did more than up the hit points values. A lot of times they'll just turn enemies into damage sponges, and that's how they increase difficulty. Which is not a good way to increase difficulty. So modifying the boss's actions is actually a really good way to get increased difficulty. Just kind of against the unique items for Ubers. That could just be because I can't do Ubers very well and I'm bitter.
Life is so brittle.
33 shot.
With me.
Alright, that is 4 maps with this silly build. I kind of want to be done with the build, with the chaos, simply because I want to sell these boots. But I do have a couple other things I want to test out, and I'm really enjoying playing this, so I'm going to keep playing it for a while. Let's see if I got a mid blue boss. I like to use those. I bet those are pretty cheap to buy. I should just buy a bunch. Like to use those to determine damage. Run them without modifying them. Nope, I stopped running blue boss, so I don't have any more blues. I've been doing Maven to try to get my Maven shit up. Do I have enough to do Uber Elder? I don't think I want to do it on this build. I'd switch. That's on the stuff tab. General. Nope. I can do a Shaper, though. I will do a Shaper. And hopefully get the top left piece. Not sure if you can only get reds from Shaper or grays from Shaper. I don't know how that works, but I'll definitely turn Maven off. Not because I can't complete it with Maven, but because I've already done it. So I don't need to do it again. Probably should put Heavy Strike on for this one. Heavy Strike's a lot better at applying shocks, just because base damage is a lot more. What is Smite? Anyway, I think Heavy Strike's like pretty nuts. Where's my Smite? Oh, it's right there. 273. I think Heavy Strike is like 3 something. Smite, 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 smite. I need to do some path of building. I find path of building to be boring. But there's some skills you can get with this. I think it's right here. This increased damage over time and 8% skill effect duration. That might be way stronger than I think for a couple of reasons. One, my shock. Two, my poison length. And three, how long my Rage Vortex is spinning. It's not that big of a deal to recast Rage Vortex, but if I get a good attack streak, I throw Rage Vortex and just rain down the smotes. But if the increased duration, I think I got one here, and that's it. One of my other ones had a couple of those. But if these were better nodes, I would totally path in there. But cast speed is dead, and physical damage is dead. So I'm not pathing into that. But it'd be sweet if I can get one that has all this good stuff. I mean, obviously this is a near perfect Glorious Vanity, so asking for more than this is a little greedy. But being able to get one of these might be pretty rad. Maybe even get a couple of these to increase that duration. That's 25%, so getting that would be strong. But either way, it'd be pretty cool. Pretty cool. But I'm not really geared around poison damage. That's just really easy to add to this build. Mostly this is a chaos damage build. Though I do think poison is pretty close to matching my regular hit damage. And if I got another chaos cluster jewel, it'd be pretty rad. I should see if there's one for sale that has strength on these small nodes. But Rage Vortex is brilliant in so many ways. One of the ways, which is a little shocking, shock, I'm applying shock, is you can get Smite from such a far distance. Not Smite. You can get Fortify from such a far distance. A lot of times, Fortify won't work with long-range spells like projectile or attacks like projectiles. Can't get Fortify with Spectral Weapon Throw. Can't get Fortify with a bunch of shit. But this is technically a throw. It's not a projectile, but it's a big old throw, and you can get Fortify from it. So you can Fortify from a distance, which is pretty nice. Don't know what I did there. What the hell? I'm being an idiot at some place. Oh yeah, I gotta go the other direction. It's late. And by late, I mean early, but I didn't sleep last night, so... Well, not a lot. I got like 2 hours. Hate this boss. Throws damage over time and does do a lot of damage. He's a Black and Decker Pecker Wrecker. Oh, he ain't dead yet? That damage over time. It always gets me. I don't pay very close attention when I play. And there's way too many buttons to handle. I got my pinky on my Q for this. Then I got my index finger on the 5 for this. And using 3 fingers for all these. So it's like 6 buttons I gotta hit. Probably not a big deal for young cats or, you know, pro gamers on this extremely difficult game called Path of Exile. But for me, maintaining a 6-button setup is a bit much for my tiny little pea brain. So it's like maintaining the 6-button setup, paying close enough attention to your life so you know you're on the ground, looking at your character, and also looking at the surroundings. It's a lot too much for my eyes. So for instance, like I can look at this character just fine, but I can't look at my mouse. So my mouse is in my peripheral vision. So it's difficult to choose what your eye focuses on. So if your eye focuses on where your cursor is, you can't really see if you're standing on damage over time. At least I can't. So it'd be kind of nice if... Maybe it's there and my audio is too low. It'd be nice if you can get some audio cues for when you're standing on damage over time. Like a Geiger counter tick. Tick, 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 tick. So that way you can hear that, know you need to move. Or you can just be better at the game. but with the visual clutter, I think it's a reasonable take. Whoa, Jesus. I just got touched by that and it killed me.
He's recovering. We need to find a way back quickly.
Shut up. You're recovering from that ass licking I gave you. Another reason I don't get a new chess piece. I kind of feel like I'm betraying Project Chaos by not using the Covenant. Because the Covenant's got that level 29 added chaos damage on it. Very thematic. Of course, the Iron Fortress is thematic with the boots, so you still got a little theming. I don't think most people care about that kind of shit, but I'm a bit of a duck fucking dork. So I like to have theming, shit synergizing, even if it's not the most optimal DPS or defense strategy.
I cannot do this yet.
Got any black balls I need to take care of? No black balls around. Only blue ball. Oh, God, right when I say that, here comes a black ball. This damage over time hurts. See how much that fucking hurts? Just barely step on it. It's fucking crazy dangerous. Nothing I could have done there. Except for be a much better player. Aside from being a much better player, there's zero things I could have done to avoid that. Don't you need a phase now? There you go.
He's trying to recover. Hurry!
He's not trying to recover. You don't know what you're talking about. It'd be cool if there was some mods for more UI utility. I mean, there might be. I'd like a little poison counter on top and a wither counter. Just little tiny numbers that just stand above the enemy so you can see how many withers you got on them, how many poisons you got on them.
They lied to you, Father.
It's difficult to say how often I'm withering. I mean, it's got a 75% chance to inflict wither, but still a little difficult to determine exactly how many withers I'm applying.
I cannot do this yet.
Should be quite a bit. Should be getting pretty close to 15, I'd imagine. Of course, it only lasts 2 seconds, so maybe not. There might be something that indicates a wither stack that I'm just not seeing because visual clarity and all. I don't see anything. Oh, I got too close. Yeah, damage over time is so brutal with this build because you don't have any life regeneration because of Calm's gloves. I'd really like to get a couple rage setups. I can't do rage support on this build because it's 100% chaos and no non-chaos damage go through. If I was doing a non-chaos build, I could probably do rage support and then blood, maybe a couple blood scents. I think that's what they're called. And then something with a little faster attack speed than smite. And actually, I think it'll generate the rage from Rage Vortex. Let's do pure rage generation for Rage Vortex instead of doing regeneration from life regeneration. So that way I can do life regen and... God damn it. Should have leaped. Or I should just stop talking and actually fight. I'm going to be kind of mad if I fail because I'm just fucking around. And by kind of mad, I mean like 6% mad. Oh, really? You're like fucking dead, my dude. And this is a high likelihood of me dying. Yeah. 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 Oh my god, and I got the one I need. And, oh, you guys see this? Oh, this is how you fucking suck at this game. This is how you do it. Oh, man. Oh, man. Let's see how much money I fucking lost by not being able to pick that shit up. Was that a dying sun? A dying sun? POE official trade. Dying sun. Ruby flask. Oh, 15C? That ain't shit. Sometimes that's really expensive, but probably only early in the league. Now let's take a look at how much the top left one cost. Where are you at? Shards and splinters? No. Fragments and sets. That's the one that was on the ground. Let's buy it with chaos. $100 chaos is what I just left on the floor by dicking around and playing like shit. Pretty devastated. Pretty devastating. Alright, that's it for the vid. Check you boys later.